Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to be going over box and whisker plots, one of my favorite activities that we do in 7th grade. Now, you probably covered this in 6th grade, but being that it's the second year that I'm doing Common Core, I'm kind of going to go with it again and just do a brief overview. So, hopefully you copied this already or looked at it already. Step 1, I'm going to go through this quickly now because it's all going to be... We'll have talked about it already anyway. Step 1, put the numbers in order from least to greatest. Step 2, you need to find 5 values from the data. The 5 values are the lower extreme, which is the least number, the upper extreme, which is the greatest number, the median, which is the middle number. If there's 2 middle numbers, you add and divide by 2. You find the mean of the 2 middle numbers, right? Here I just have a little guideline. At this point, split the data in half. If there was 1 middle number, you don't include it in your upper and lower half. If there were 2 middle numbers, you're going to split them. The lower one goes with the lower, the upper goes with the upper. All right. The lower quartile, is the median of the lower half. The upper quartile is the median of the upper half. And once again, if there's 2 middle numbers, you have to add and divide by 2. Obviously, like me saying that quickly doesn't really help, but hopefully in class I'll leave this up for a bit so you can copy or take a look and ask questions. All right, so now you should have 5 values. You have the lower extreme, I abbreviated it, the lower quartile, the median, the upper quartile, and the upper extreme. 5 values, right? Step 3 is create a number line using appropriate intervals. Now, I didn't put the intervals in, but let's say you have test scores. What I would do if it's from 0 to 100, you'll just make, 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Underneath here, you make your number line, right? Step 4 is put dots above the number line using your 5 values. So you have 5 values, you're going to put those dots above the number line. So let's say the first one was 20, you're going to put it above the 20. I didn't put the actual intervals in because it may not be 0 to 100. It could be 0 to 1,000. It could be any range of numbers. Once you put the 5 values, then you draw your box and whisker, which looks like that, but I'm trying to get down to the bottom of the screen. Let me see if I can do that quickly so I don't have to do the whole video over. We shall see. And there it is. So, once you have your 5 values, you draw, these are the whiskers, the bottom dot to the next one, the top to the one below it, and then you box the 3 in the middle. Easy, simple. Why don't we try one? Here's a bunch of test scores, okay? 54, 67, 20, 90, 98, 57. I actually did this before. These are your 11 test scores, okay? I'll give you time to copy that in class. What's the first step? You put them in order, right? And luckily we have them here in order, ready to go. Okay. Hopefully I have them on the next screen, and yes I do. Now, what you want to do now after you have them in order is you want to start circling the lower extreme is the smallest number. The biggest number is the upper extreme. Now the middle number, let's see, should be that. That's your median, right? Now, because there's 1 number in the middle, I'm not going to include it in my halves. So, let's call this the lower extreme is 20. The upper extreme, all the way over there, was 98. You have the median is 67. Now, I don't include that middle number in my upper and lower half, right? But I do include the extremes. So what's the median of these top 5 numbers? Well, it would be 88. And what's the median of these bottom 5 numbers? 40. So now I have my lower quartile would be 40. My upper quartile would be 88. Now, the next step is you put dots above it. So 20, I'll put a dot there. 40, there. 98 is all the way up here. 67 and 88. That should be all of them. Now the simple part. Whisker, whisker, box it in. Voila. Now you might say, well, that's sloppy, by the way. Now you might say, what does this mean? Well, what it means is that the lower 25% of the test scores fell within this range, in the lower quartile. The next 25% of the test scores fell within this area. The next 25% of the test scores were here, and the next 25% scores were here. It's just grouping them based on percentages. Where did most of the, so if you want to know that the top 25% of kids in the top 25% of the scores were between an 88 and a 98. The bottom 25% of the class scored between a 20 and a 40. And this would be the middle 50% in the middle there. There's a term you're going to want to hear, that you're going to hear, called interquartile range, and that interquartile range goes from that lower quartile to that upper quartile. So the interquartile range here would be between 40 and 88, which should be, 48. Okay? I'm going to do more examples in class because you may have a situation where you have two middle numbers, in which case you would need to find their mean of the middle numbers, but then you would include both those numbers in the split. I'll do more examples like that in a little bit. Hopefully this helps. Cheers, peace. Great talking to you guys.